Alright everybody, well welcome back. Obama Dinger here with an update on the Fireworks Barbarian build. First up, thanks everybody who watched the first video. Thank you even more if you liked it. I was a bit surprised at how many people decided to subscribe after the fact. So in this video, we will be doing kind of an update on the build. I'm going to be going through some other tricks that you can do. I'm going to show you what some of the other throwing rune words look like on a throw barb like this. And then I'm going to do a long play of a T4 map. So I don't think anybody is going to want to watch the entirety of a T4 map, but you'll at least get to see how it works. So let's start off by going through a couple of equipment updates. Bring up my stats here. I know some folks had some comments on the poison damage element of the build, which is down here. Right now, I do have all of my poison small charms equipped, which I'm going to be using those for the T4 map here. I'll talk more about that here in a second. But I have found a way to kind of streamline this to make it more effective. So kind of the first piece of that is I am now running around with the treachery in my inventory. Due to the fact that it has venom on striking, it's going to take all of that lovely poison damage and tidy it up, put it into a 1 second window there. So let's toss that on, throw a couple axes at the cows here. As you can see, I pretty much instantly casted venom. And now all that poison damage, it's about 1,000 poison damage a throw here. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. So that's one update to the build. As far as the other rune words that you can make for this, obviously wind is still going to be best in slot, in my opinion. There's a couple of these that I'll show you here. Let's get the treachery out of the way. A couple people asked about using a crescent moon. Crescent moon can work, so can a venom, but just keep in mind that the static field chance on striking there and the poison nova chance on striking both happen on your character and not on the enemies. So let's put both of these on. I'll throw this a little bit so you can kind of see. It does, of course, cast a ton of poison novas, cast a ton of static field, so a little bit fun, but maybe not quite as effective as some of the other setups. Still amusing to watch, a little bit harder to see, but there is plenty of lightning going on in the midst of there as well. So that's one option here. Another option, of course, is going to be Lawbringer. Let's run back over here and grab that. Lawbringer has Decrepify on striking. Again, that could be maybe handy if you're trying to do some boss runs or something like this. Put that in my discard pile, give that to somebody here. But if you equip a Lawbringer, then you do end up with Decrepify everywhere all the time, which is kind of fun to do. Toss a couple of that so you can see that. But in my opinion, still best in slot is going to be the double wings. So for those of you who maybe were looking at this, maybe you don't have the runes to try out doing a crescent moon or some of the other stuff, there you go. Now you've seen it in action. Lawbringer works just fine. I don't think it's as fun, but it works. So let's go ahead and put that back in the stash here. Put this on. Now let's talk through kind of some silly things that you can do with this build. While your weapons are bouncing, they kept in, I think this is a bug from, I guess, older versions of Diablo 2, but if you swap weapons, then the weapon that you have equipped in the left-hand slot here, if it has on-hit effects, it will cast those abilities. So as long as your axes are bouncing, you can do that. So let's look at a couple of these and then I'll kind of demonstrate here. These are probably the three that I've had the most fun with. First up is going to be Rift. You have even more tornadoes and frozen orb on striking, so I'll show you what that looks like. Let's go back into this Cal map. We'll throw a couple of axes here and then I'll switch. And you can see I'm now casting frozen orb as well. So is this a big damage move? No, it's mainly just for amusement. Pretty funny to watch that happen. Alternatively, Nords is probably my favorite with the opportunity to cast Blizzard here. So let's get another pack with some enemies here, get some things bouncing, and then hey, you got some crowd control with your Blizzards casting. So if you ever want to be even more of a troll with this setup, all you have to do is swap weapons. Now, if you have a weapon in each hand, it doesn't work. It's only going to do the one in that left-hand slot. So just keep that in mind. And then the last one here is Asylum. Asylum is really fun. I definitely don't think the game was designed to have. Was designed to have that many um, casts of Fist of Heavens at the same time. I don't think it technically shows all of them, but there's a ton. Of course, Asylum is fairly expensive. I doubt you would want to make this just for this build. You could also make a, you could also just go and get a Cloud Crack, and it would do the same thing. But, so you know, there's a couple of other kind of trolly things that you can do. Some non-trolly things that you could do with this is you could put a Doombringer on swap instead, and you could cast Weaken. So there are some things, I think there's some other utility you could probably squeak out of this if you wanted to try it, but there's a couple of other additional trolly things that you can do with this build that maybe you hadn't considered before. So there's a couple of updates there. But let's get into the bread and butter of doing a tier 4 map. I've already got one picked out here that I'm going to work through. I don't know if I've done this particular T4 map. I've tried some of the others, but we're gonna give this one a shot. I don't remember if that's the actual map I selected for this. Yes, it is. This is the right one. Okay. So a couple of things that we're going to do differently for running a T4 map. Most of the setup is going to remain the same. Double wind, principal chest piece naturally. We're going to shift around a couple of the items here. I would say, other than having the principal equipped, the next most important thing is going to be a Delirium. Delirium allows us to cast Confuse on striking, and that is going to make a giant difference when we're dealing with some of these really hard T4 mobs. So we're going to toss that on and put the Wisdom aside for now. Since we're going to be using Confuse in this build, I'm not going to be running with my Atmoscarab, which I normally do for the amp damage. Instead, I'm going to be using the next important thing here. This is just a +2 Barbarian Amulet with teleport charges on it. This is something I normally try to get for melee classes most seasons because you can get teleport in your build without having to swap weapons. Sometimes it's quality of life, but I have one here, a nice rare one. Coming down to the rest of the items, I'm going to be using Trang's Belt just to get the Cannot Be Frozen in the setup here. Right now I'm running with the Nosferatus, so we'll swap that out. And then in order to resolve the mana leech issues with this, I'm going to be using one of my dual leech rings with mana per kill. This one also has 98 additional mana on it, plus some additional attack rating, which is nice, so that's going to set us up nicely. Let's see here, that's the 9%, that's the 7%. So we're going to take off one of our Carrion Winds and toss that on, and now we have all the mana leech we're going to need to set this up. You're going to want to tweak your loot filter to make sure that you can see regular health and mana potions. The most difficult thing in running a T4 map by yourself, at least with this setup that I've found, is just running out of mana. So that is the basic setup for running this. The rest of the build remains the same. Still going to keep my Hellmouth. Got the Delirium equipped here, and so we're ready to go. The other thing we're going to make some changes on for this, and I need to swap out my Merc's weapon here. Normally I would have him running with a Templar's Might, so I can have the Might aura. In this instance, we're not going to do that. Instead, I have him with Kraken Shell here, and then with Leviathan, Kraken Shell, and then a Vamp Gaze. That way we're maxing out his physical damage resistance while we're doing this. The rest of his equipment is basically just a little bit additional life leech. And then rather than using the Pride on this with the Concentrate aura, I'm actually going to swap that out, and instead we are going to use a multi-socketed Reaper's Toll. And we're doing this not because we want the amp damage, which obviously he's going to be casting some of that. It's because we want as much additional life leech as we can give him. The life leech that he is going to have on this tier 4 map is not the thing that's going to keep him alive, however. It will help, but it's not the thing that's going to keep him alive. Right now he's at 37% life leech. The thing that's actually going to keep him alive is the Holy Bolts from Principle. And so that is why, having teleport, I have a Nages on swap, and I have my additional teleports here. The most challenging part of running a tier 4 map, and I've probably done 5 or 6 of them now, is just making sure that you have positioned yourself appropriately so that your Holy Bolts are constantly healing your Mercenary, and that's going to let him tank. In previous seasons, I have done an Eternity setup on a Barbarian using Berserk to run T4 maps. regardless of how you may feel about running T4s by yourself, it's not really efficient. I wouldn't recommend it as a way to farm and get rich, but I do kind of think of it as a nice, you know, end-game content challenge. This guy is not going to be doing it in record time by any stretch of the imagination. It's probably going to take me about 40 minutes to do that. I'm going to do some additional narration while I'm running the map. And like I said, I'm going to do this as a long play, doing this whole thing in one take. So I might take a couple deaths. I might have to go back and resurrect my mercenary a few times. I understand if you don't stick around for the full thing, but you'll at least be able to see a taste of what that looks like. So I went ahead and pre-buffed with Venom. I think also for this I am going to bring my Demon Limb as well, since I do not have the concentration aura. So that will help a little bit with my chance to hit, and we'll just see how this thing goes, huh? So one of the things with running a T4 map that I have learned, you actually do much better when you have large packs of enemies to deal with. As much as you can get your axes doing their thing, the better. At the same time, with running a T4 map, you will likely... Oh, there we go. Already got the first death here while I'm too busy talking instead of playing. Let me get my guy back here. So going into this again, if you have at least 1 point in Grimlord, I tend to really full clear the area to minimize the potential deaths I might take. So that's another benefit of having a vanishes as your swap for not just for the teleport, but if you end up clearing a pack of enemies, you can also very quickly clear them with Grimlord. That way you don't have a bunch of unholy corpses coming back. I suppose I could wear a Nature's Peace instead with some life leech on it. I don't want to pretend like this is optimized by any stretch of the imagination, but as you can see here, I am clearing the enemies. My mercenary is staying alive when I'm paying attention. Probably the most dangerous guys are in fact the Doombringers, or the Bloodbringers, excuse me. Massive physical damage, you really have to reposition. Of course, just having 2 of them is normally enough to get the bounces that I need. It's just a matter of properly repositioning my mercenary so that he can do his thing. If there's just 1 of them, it's really not a good use of your time to even try to kill one. You don't get the bounces, you don't get the procs or the heals, and so you'll just waste your time. Since here we're just looking to clear the map as best as we can, it's not really necessary to kill every single enemy in a situation like that. If you get them in a pack, it's much easier to deal with it. And of course we would have a pack of elites of them now. Yeah, just my luck here. Here we go. Let's see how we do. Yep. I may just have to run north here and not mess with those guys at all. I'm not going to be spending much time pre-buffing with Frenzy like I normally would. It's really, you know, that's more of a quality of life thing. We're just trying to survive here. So I'm much less interested in attacking faster if it means if it means I might lose my mercenary again. All right, let's get over here, get my guy back. And just to confirm, I've never done this T4 map. This is the first time. I think the enemies are all the same anyway, so I don't know really how much of a difference it makes, but I have not done this one yet. We need to find a corner to find out of. There we go. Might end up taking a death here, we'll see. This might be a death. We'll see what we got here. All right, let's see if we can really position well on this elite pack and really clear out at least the portal here. Gotta have my mark for this. Shalon is hating his life today. How unlucky, guys. Oh, man. That's funny. Alright, let's pre-buff real quick. No. Oh, did we finally hit the sweet spot? Maybe. We believed. All right, taking some territory now. It only took all my potions. Oh man, I may have to switch him back over to using his pride. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to change prematurely because on the other T4 maps that I've run, it's been so much more helpful for him to have a Reaper's Toll. But right now he's been interfering with my confusion, and I think that might have made all the difference here. So let's just see. Let's put the pride back on him. Let's see if that helps with kind of the next round here. Where'd it go? There it is. All right, here we go. He's got one by himself, which is normally an issue. A little hard to deal with that when they're by themselves because you just don't get the casts of Holy Bolt that you need to do the damage to clear them out. And I don't know if you noticed, but his attack speed is just absolute ass with Bride. Clear this out, and at least that way we'll have a strong place to start from. Reposition my boy here. All right. Now we're cooking with lightning. Got another one. Man, I'm so unlucky. My goodness. I don't know if I've had two packs of elites of the blood watchers or whatever the hell they're called right at the start. This is a first. Anyway, we're almost there. Let's at least let's get Stone Thirst out of here, and maybe we can leave this guy in the corner and move on with our lives. So I tend to use the yeah, that's not going to work. I tend to use the Najas when I need to reposition my mercenary and I'm safe, and I use my my teleport if I need to save myself. Let's kill this guy. All right. All right, the next guys that are a pain in the butt are the, what are they, the Vampire Lords. That frozen orb will wipe me in one shot. So normally, when I'm dealing with those guys, I keep them at length. I lock on to an immune to physical target, and I just let her rip. And I actually do my best to pay attention to the frozen orbs rather than the damage that I'm dealing. I have found that to be the best way to deal with those guys on this map here. And I think there was an elite pack of them a little bit ago. See, our Unholy Corpse are causing issues. These guys will just continue to go back. You know what? Ha! This is funny. I respect. That's okay. We'll play through. We'll just deal with him. No problem. Oh shit. Thankfully, those guys are not immune to physical damage, but they're blizzard and they're frozen orbs, and they'll just about one-shot me if I'm not careful. Let's get our boy back here. He's having a bad day. Oh man. Pre-buff again here real quick.
Impossible.
All right, so we need to pick a direction here. I think I'm gonna go north instead of west. Let's do that instead. In the other T4 maps that I've cleared, I have purposely only selected one direction to go. There's no reason to clear the whole map. I think really the only lucrative part of doing this is in killing the boss. So there's not really a reason to do that. Yeah. Okay. I think we're getting some territory here at least, and I don't have 2 packs. Let's go back to the Reaper's Toll and see if we can keep our boy alive here. Wrong one.
Not here.
Frozen orbs. Well, this is good. Talk about limit testing. This may be the hardest start I've had on a T4 map before. Normally it's pretty slow and steady, but it is what it is. Our boy got one shot again. Poor bastard. Alright, my man. You're doing a great job today. We love how you die for our sins. Alright. Move along a little bit here. There we go. God, I think this guy is immune to exactly everything I need him to not be immune to. Oh. Woo. Unlucky. And he's got conviction aura. Oh, man. Well, if you thought I was messing around with whether or not this build works, I guess this proves that at least I'm not pulling your leg. Alright. Alright, that was a nice little pack we were able to clear there. Challen didn't make it, but that's okay. We still love him. He's doing a great job. I need to throw some rejuves in my inventory here instead of just topping off in town. There we go. Buff real quick. I will say I do actually really like how open this map is. A couple of the others, I'll have to look at the names of them because I don't run them enough to even remember all of the names. But it's nice that this one is as open as it is. It's a lot easier to move around. I guess it's a good thing that I rolled like 4 more of these if I decide to run more. One other thought here, just so that you guys are aware of this. I have tried to run a T4 map with a friend with this setup, and it just doesn't work. I don't know what the damage calculations are on this map, on the T4 maps, when you have additional players, but even with just one other person, I couldn't do anywhere near the damage I needed to clear any of the mobs at all. We got another pack? Do we have another pack of Bloodbringers here? That's okay. They're actually kind of nice to fight them because they're immune to physicals. So if there's a nice pack of them together, you can often get basically what you're seeing here, which is an endless supply of holy bolts to keep your mercenary alive, which is basically how this is designed to function. Poorly positioned there. Here we go. Heal him right up. Grab some of these sodas off the ground.
I can't carry anymore.
Oh! Well, I guess I don't need to address that right now. Maybe I'll make a third video. Probably not. More than likely this will be my main mapper next season as well. This is just too much fun. This may be the most fun I've had with the build in Project Diablo 2 so far. Maybe I'll build something like this and then make a GG sorceress. I still haven't done that in this mod yet, so maybe that'll be my path next season. I'm still sitting on quite a few high runes from my farming activities this time. I guess maybe I should just empty my inventory and call it good. I've got enough hours this season. So much fun. Alright. Good. We can take some territory now, set up a nice safe teleport location. Not teleport, town portal. a great kill box right here. And we have yet another pack of elite Bloodbringers. With some succubus witches on this side. Alright. Let's see what else we got here. Damn it. Oh, had some lag there. Wasn't taking my teleports. Cornet. Wow, look at that. Okay. Something, maybe. Slam that later. Let's see. Maybe I'll just put that in the giveaway pile. Look at it later. You got to be careful sometimes with the lag on these guys, because suddenly they'll stop walking, and then you're dead, and you won't know what happened because the lag killed you. Oh, I guess I can address it while we're messing around with this. I did want to talk about chance to pierce on a double throw barbarian. I had quite a few people say, hey, chance to pierce doesn't work, it doesn't do anything. And I want to let you guys know that is false, okay? If there is no enemy to bounce to, this is a great example. See how my weapons, my throws periodically are in fact going through? That's because chance to pierce does work on double throw. So is it a critical thing? No. But does it work? Yes. All right, let's get some of these guys in range coming down towards me some. Just out of range of my holy bolts there. There we go. Now we got some healing going for him. Stairwell has been gold. I do need to reset and refill my potion bar here, though. Let's jump to town and do that before I die. Got a G-Bane on the ground waiting for me up there. Pick up the potions from the ground once I clear it. Cash and prizes there. Let's see what we got. Oh, not terrible. Guessing he's kind of in the way at this point, isn't it? Let's get that out of here. Gonna put that in the giveaway pile. Yeah, I think we're doing okay now without the pride. Things are working the way that they have been working in my various tests of this. Slow and steady. I'm sure there are other builds that can run a T format much faster than this, but this is just proof this one can. Okay, grab this. Alright, man. Well, that frickin' stairwell has just turned out to be phenomenal. Clearing that little area there. Oh my god. Oh, how unlucky. Look at that. How frickin' unlucky. I'm not even... There's no way my body's coming out of there. Oh man, teleport behind the building. Oh gosh, that's funny. Now you know why I don't play hardcore. Oh, that's funny. That was really funny. Yet another pack of the stupid Bloodbringers. Oh, how funny. All right. Let's try that again.
Not enough mana.
And you know, this might be a good time to top off my teleport charges real quick. Make sure I have enough of those. Okay. Oh, switched off this. And I was thinking maybe this would be a deathless run. Just moved a little too fast. That was my fault. Yeah, let's get my poison creeper back out here. And something over there has conviction aura. Tell you one thing, I'm not going back behind that building to clear that pack. Or maybe I should. Maybe I should. I don't know if that makes it a good YouTube or not. I think they made it out anyway. Back to the stairs. Well, we had taken some territory and then they they made it out. That's funny. And I had that one coming up behind me there. Yeah, I think the Bloodbringers are really the only real threat in terms of like surprise one-shot. Those guys and the Vampire Lords are pretty much it. If you can deal with them, you can make it through. And most of it is just whether or not you can get them in a pack. Like this is going okay. I think he's missing. Of course, his little piddly amp damage isn't doing anything. Not that I could confuse him anyway, but there we go. Ooh. Slam that. Craft it, rather. Right, get rid of some of these succubus witches. Oh, let's see if we can take some more territory here. That'll at least help with getting rid of the fanaticism. Lag spike. That's what, 2 deaths? That's not so bad. Considering what I started with, I think I've played this pretty well so far. Let's see if I can get my body without dying. Let's see. Come on, Challen. You're up, buddy. Not today, huh? Alright, well, that's a problem back there. I wonder what the bosses are like in this one. We'll see. Kind of getting there, huh? Oh, here we go. Another nice little kill box here. Digging these steps, man. I gotta respect though. I'm a goober not having Grimward. I think I have it on my my helmet. Oh well, no big deal. Position. He's not getting hit by the holy bolts. There we go. Maybe. Don't die, buddy. I wonder what that is. Ah, Ravenlore. Okay. Another one? Another pack of elite bloodringers. Oh man. God, they just hate me this run. I guess it's because I'm recording it. Oh man. Check vertical floor in there. Okay. Alright, we gotta get some of these guys off of that ledge there so they're not so bunched up. Oh, let's get some of these out of my inventory. I can't move. right. Well, taking a little more territory here. Guess we're about due for another pack of the Bloodbringers. These aren't elite. What's going on? Right, let's see what we got. I'm guessing might be coming up on the first boss here. I don't know if it's any different than the other T4 maps. Find out together, I guess. I know in my previous seasons, I just never had enough people to play with to even try to run a T4 map. So for me, really my first time even experiencing most of this has actually been this season with this guy. So, I don't know, maybe next season I'll actually have some friends and we'll run some of these T4 maps. But it just seems so tedious. And in terms of leveling up, I mean, I don't know if there's really a reason. I guess maybe somebody who watches this, if you even made it this far, or wanted to even watch it this far, maybe you'll have an answer for me on that. But I don't really, other than just the challenge of doing it, I don't know if there's really a reason to run these. Yeah, they can go in the giveaway pile.
Impossible.
Oh no! How unfortunate. Well, let's see if I can get back into that game. If not, I think we may just stop there for tonight. I don't know if I want to, if I have the time. Wow. How unfortunate, gang. We'll stop it there.